Hello from Findlay Truck and RV. Today we're going to be touring the 2018 Keystone Outback Superlite. Currently looking at the nose of the travel trailer. Got our awning light and slide out over here. And both slide outs out on this side. As we approach, this unit does come with a power jack auto leveling system. Controls are over on the right side if you're looking at the front of the camper. Safety chains, breakaway cable, and standard 7-pin hookup here. Just back behind, we do have propane tanks, cover that is accessible from the top. There are these pins that screw down, and we can access our propane from the top without having to take the entire cover off. Regulator down there and gauges on both propane tanks, and that will simply just pop down and into place. Back behind, it's a battery, brand new battery in there, serviced inside our battery box. Moving on around, we come to this first compartment here. Keyed compartment. Compartments work with magnetic latches. Just lift them up and they drop into place. Inside this compartment here, we do have the battery disconnect as well as a light. Battery disconnect is currently on. You will want the battery disconnect on when you are using the coach, when you are going to be away from the coach for an extended period of time, or really just any period of time. Always a good idea to go ahead and flip that off and pull the key. This unit does come with an in-command computer system on board, which we will go over in the interior of the coach. This is the system right here back behind. To open, you will just turn both of those counterclockwise and that cover will come off should you ever need to get in there. And the rest of the compartment. And latches like so. Moving on along, these are stabilizer jacks here. The power jack up front. There are two stabilizer jacks on the rear as well, and jacks just behind the rear axle. Propane quick connect. Pop that cap out. Can slide a propane line on there and it will latch on. Parallel opens the propane line, and we are now currently closed again. Entry steps just fold up and in and pull back out. Assist rail you will want to be closed during travel, and simply lifting up we can rotate this out. Looking at the awning with the awning lights. Exterior speakers also have lights. This unit does have two fridges inside, so therefore there are two refrigerator access panels right here. Down below we're looking at our tires. That right there is going to be the jack, and the other one over on the other side. Back here we also have our spare tire and our stabilizer jacks on the rear. Slide out in good shape all the way up underneath here, and there is a tool. You'll be able to drop the spare tire down right here. Instructions just next door. There is a tool in the front compartment that I will point out. This unit does come with a storage rack on the rear. It does fold up if you will not be towing anything. There are just two pins with cotter pins through them. Roof access ladder. Roof access ladder pins in like so, and pulling both of those, the roof access ladder will fold up. 50 amp hookup on the back here. Sewer bumper caps do pop off, where you can store your sewer hose. Sliding up underneath here, we do have a sewer outlet on the back side for the galley tank. You want to make sure that your cap is pulled off and pull this tank handle out. The red and blue lines right there are the low point drains when time to winterize, or when you want to drain the water system entirely. You want to pull those caps off at the end. They screw off, and let them drain until they are dry and empty. Moving on around. Take a look at the slide out. Also down below here, there is another drain right there. That's going to be for your fresh water tank. Backing up, we do have our docking station water ports here. This is going to be for the tank fill, and pointing down is going to be for your city water connection. Your city water hose will hook up right here, and over here is going to be a black tank flush. If going to use the black tank flush, always a good idea to make sure that the sewer cap is off and the black tank is open. However, you can allow it to build up some pressure if you prefer. Just make sure when you do go to pull the tank, you do have the sewer cap pulled off and you are monitoring the black tank water level. Exterior shower faucet, there is a hose that pops in here. Right here we have the furnace exhaust. When the furnace is running, hot air is going to discharge out of there, so just be mindful of yourselves, kids, pets, etc. And then just next door is going to be the main sewer outlet here. It is marked gray, black, and gray. Got a gray tank here, gray tank here, and your black tank right here. You want to make sure that the sewer valve is pulled off prior to pulling any of the tank handles. Always a good idea to pull the black tank prior to pulling the gray tank, just to ensure that any sediment that may get caught in the end of the sewer outlet here flushes out. Looking at our slide out, security light. This will be the spare tire tool to drop it down. Hose for the shower with a nozzle. Compartment locks. Over here we have the hot water heater. Door does pull up and off. Hot water heater runs on both gas and electric. When running on the electric side, you want to make sure that you have this switch to the on position prior to selecting electric on the interior computer system. When time to winterize, you will want to first crack the pressure release valve until no more water drains out. Once done, a 1 1/16 inch drain plug will pull the anode rod out of here, and then we can bypass the water heater on the back side on the interior of the coach. When you're running on your gas, flame will come from right out here, and your electric element is right here for the electric side of things. You can run both at the same time on this specific unit. However, most people select one versus the other. Just up above is going to be the auto leveling system. There are instructions over here, but a quick run through. We've got a tongue jack mode here where we can extend and retract it. We can then go back to our home screen. Auto reconnect is going to bring all of the jacks up. Auto deploy will run them all down. Once pressing one of them, it will give you an OK or stop. We'll go ahead and hit stop right now. And if we would hit auto reconnect, it will sync all of them together. There are more in-depth videos on the leveling system on YouTube. Pretty self-explanatory though if you just start clicking the buttons here, and there are some instructions on the door right here as well. And just down below we do have some specs for this specific unit. Just a couple of stickers right here. We will now begin the interior portion of this tour. And beginning the interior portion of this tour, we are currently looking at the front door with the steps down and our assist rail in place. Front door opens up, revealing a screen door. Screen door does open and closes should you want to open up for some fresh air. And again, it will just simply lock back into place. Door does work on a deadbolt, as well as you can lock the handle here. And as we enter, closing door behind us, we do have a fire extinguisher immediately to the left of the entry door. Up above here is going to be the thermostat, temperature dial, system. We're currently off. We've got heat, fan, and cool, as well as the fan settings over here. Just down below, if we hit this on button, 0000 will be the passcode that gets you in and takes you to a main screen here. On this main screen, we can control our lights, our awning, bed slide, main slide, and kitchen slide are all right here. There is also a menu button you can go into that brings up many more options. This button right here is going to be the back button. If we were in the menu, we could also hit this home button and it will bring us right back to the front. Again, our awning, in, out, bed slide, in, out, main slide, kitchen slide, etc. We do have our tank levels up on the top here, fresh, black, gray, and gray. And then down below, we can turn on and off the water pump, the water heater here, just to give you a demonstration. Water heater, electric, propane, or both. Interior lights, you can control exterior lights and our security lights. And that is pretty much all of the functionality. It does show your battery voltage over here as well. Opening this door here, we enter the bedroom. Bedroom does open to the bathroom. Storage up above here, area for a television. On this cable hookup right here is going to be the control for the antenna power. Currently on with the green light here. If we press that button and release it, turns our antenna off. And turning back on, there is an outlet up here for a television set. Down below, 4-drawer dresser. Back behind, there is a window. Emergency exit window. To open, you will simply slide up and out and push out to open. Red tab right here will allow you to rip the screen out and back into place, and pulling our blind back down. Inside this closet here, there is storage. This could also serve as an area for a washer and dryer. There are hookups back here, as well as an outlet. Nice big mirrored sliding doors here. Doors just latch right here, and we can open them. They latch for travel, so they stay in place. Plenty of storage in here. Nice big hanging rod. And over on this other side, and back into place. On this other side here, underneath this panel that lifts up, is access to the water heater. The water heater is currently not bypassed. We have water in the water heater. To bypass this lever here, you will simply want to move it vertically to be in line with this top pipe. It will come to here, go up, and back out through. There is not a valve for the top portion or the hot supply to the coach, because there is a check valve here that will not allow anything to backflow. There's also some additional storage down here and access, like I said, to the water heater to bypass. Windows on either side of the bed. Storage above. There are lights. They can be controlled. Bed lifts up. There is some additional storage underneath. Works on hydraulic shocks. And back down into place. Moving into the bathroom. Bathroom does have a pocket door. Currently in travel mode. Just pop that off. The bathroom door will slide over and back into place. And ready for travel. There is a vent and fan in this unit. Fan. We need to have the switch on over here, and then we can turn our fan on. You can also control the fan just by turning that switch off and leaving this one in the always on position and closing our vent back up. Bathroom light switch. Spinning around. Medicine cabinet with mirror. Lights. Bathroom sink. GFCI outlet. Little storage down below and access to the bathroom sink plumbing. Shower doors, latch for travel, and opening them back up. Nice big shower faucet and hose. There is a skylight in here, and on the back side we do have the toilet. Toilet works on a step pedal flush. Stepping on that pedal will bring water into the bowl and flush down into the black tank. And then there is also a bathroom door from the other side of the coach. Again, this is our bedroom side. And going through here, opening this door, we are back in the main portion of the travel trailer. As I mentioned, there are two fridges. Fridges work on both gas and electric. They do have an on-off switch. If we press this button and pop it out, we are running on the gas side. If we press it back in, we're running on auto. Should we get unplugged from shore power, it will automatically switch over to the gas side, and if there is ever an issue with the gas side, this right here will blink. Moving into the kitchen. Storage up above. Range hood. There is a light as well as a fan. To light your burners, you will simply want to go to the light position and turn the spark knob here. We have flame, then we can control the size of our flame accordingly. And go ahead and light the other two here. And adjusting our flame and back to off. To light the oven, there is a pilot push and hold. You will push and hold that in, and then down at the back there is a spark. You can also use a candlestick lighter. Place it right here. You will place it right here while holding the knob to the push pilot hold position. And once you have flame, you can release, and then you'll be able to control your temperature. Plenty of drawers, storage underneath. We are now underneath the kitchen sink. Have access to the kitchen sink plumbing. Kitchen sink does have a pull-out hose. Turning on. It's also got a sprayer function. and back to our normal aerator and back off. Cover can serve as a cutting board. Inside this door here, storage closet. We do have access to the water pump. The water pump itself does have a valve. The valve is currently drawing from the fresh tank in this position when time to winterize. The end of this hose right here, you will turn that valve to be parallel with this line. You can stick the end of this hose into a bucket of antifreeze and it will pump through the water system and PEX lines throughout. Back here is access to the furnace. There is an off and reset button right here, just behind my flashlight right there. And this is access to the outside water docking station that controls the water system. This panel also does come off for further access to the furnace should you ever need to. Kitchen dinette. Dinette table does pop off of the top of the legs here. Legs do remove from the bottom as well, and that dinette table can rest on this side and on this side right here, turning this into a sleeping area. Underneath there are drawers. Windows throughout. We do have another sleeping area right here. You will simply pull up and out. It will extend even further, and then these back cushions serve as the rest of the bed. Stereo does have 3 settings, one for the main portion of the coach, one for the bedroom, and 3 is going to be for the exterior. Down below, breaker panel fuse box, fireplace.